Hi, everyone. This is Brian with International Security Training. And today I want to talk about cyber security and, in some ways, the partnership that needs to exist between physical and IT security. When you're looking at cybersecurity and cyber criminals specifically, uh, there's not much new under the sun, but there is the sophistication and the complexity that these folks are operating under that is pretty amazing. They're very highly skilled. They're equipped with very modern tools. And, the attack methods, the software, the equipment that they're using is obviously the newest, while the companies that we work in have systems that are a couple years old, 5 years old. So they're outdated. So it's like we're starting from a weaker position than the bad guys. When you look at where most of them are operating from, this may or may not catch you by surprise, but it's actually the former Soviet states. Uh, the bad guys are hard to track when it comes to cyber criminals and hackers because of the way they can bounce and disguise their locations, their equipment, their IP addresses, and DSNs and all this kind of crap. But when we do find them, they tend to be coming from mostly from the former Soviet states, former. Uh, Vendors. What about your third-party vendors? Who brings in and resupplies your cafeteria vending machines? Who brings in your maintenance worker or your janitorial workers? Who does your accounting and HR functions? We're using a lot of when you look at small business today, we're using a lot of different specialty areas and companies to fulfill our standard business needs. Okay, if you look at what happened to Target, in the recent past, their system was cracked, and what happened was the bad guys exploited a web services application that their HVAC vendor used to submit invoices to Target. That's their heating, ventilation, and air conditioning folks. So the maintenance guys are billing Target with a simple, web services application. The bad guys, after doing enough spy work, figured out it was the weakest link in the chain, and that's how they got in. So we have to watch our third-party vendors. Security management. Both IT and physical security need to work closely with those in charge of contracting for services. Now, if it's like a state or a federal agency, I suppose that would be your procurement department, which might be an arm off of the accounting division. If you're in a manufacturing or maybe a more standard type of brick and mortar business, you might be talking about your supply chain management division. Whatever you call it in the arena that you work in, we all need to work together. And that can start by, first of all, with your annual surveys. Just look at your annual security survey. If I'm in charge of physical security, I definitely want to meet with my IT uh, director or manager to make sure that we're all on the same page. Now, sometimes I've gotten a little bit of resistance in trying to set up some good, meaningful discussions because the IT world is a busy world and they don't really see what we're doing, or they think we're trying to stick our nose in a place where it doesn't belong, yada, yada, yada. But, if you have a professional demeanor about yourself and you're building your relationships appropriately wherever you work, hopefully this won't be a problem for you. I've always been able to get around their original resistance to the meeting. And at the end of the time I've worked for each individual company, we've always had a great working relationship. So please work through that resistance and make sure it's one of teamwork, not arrogance. Make sure it's one of cooperation and not, corporate bullying, if you will. So make sure you're involved in each other's annual surveys. Make sure that you're both involved again with the supply chain management when they're bringing in new contracts or new arrangements. So that way everybody has that same proactive behavior thing when it comes to cybersecurity. So that is it for today. I hope this maybe made you add a couple questions to your day and see if you guys are doing all right as far as physical and IT security, and hopefully you can reduce cybercrime in your area. Until next time, my name is Brian with International Security Training.